So, two things. First off, this is the last Sunday on Fire of 2024, but we're doing it all over again next year. Now, it's going to be the second or so Sunday of every month, 12 noon, right here, all 35mm prints. But you would think in our fourth year of doing this, we're running out of movies, and I was worried. Then Christina, the programmer here, dug deep, and holy shit, you guys, next year's lineup is insane. So I just want to tell you a little bit about it. So David Bordwell, the noted film scholar, is a longtime friend of Subway Cinema. He has an amazing collection of Hong Kong movies. He passed away last year, so we did not have any access to his collection, but they restored our access, so we are showing some amazing movies from David's collection that just are never screened anywhere. We are also showing two movies that are so awesome. They were both produced and choreographed by the man who directed the Blu-ray we just gave away. Two of these movies, neither of these movies have ever been on DVD. I think the last they were on VHS, maybe Laserdisc. They are never screened. Some people don't even know they exist. I looked at the Letterboxd reviews of one of them, and it has like 2. I want to say, these prints Christina found are not subtitled. So we paid to have new subtitles made by a Cantonese speaker, and we will be live projecting subs. So that's 3 prints from David's unaccessible collection, 2 that we're going to live project subs for. 4 of the movies from next year's lineup are pretty consistently in the top 10 of Hong Kong movies ever made and never get screened for some reasons. Next year is going to be insane. And we're starting out in January with a movie that's by a director who is just finding his feet, but he's later went on to become one of the greatest action directors in the world, playing at Cannes and all kinds of places. It's a movie produced by a guy named Tsui Hark. If you know Hong Kong cinema, you know Tsui Hark. And it is a banger of a police film that you will never see screened on 35. So that's January, and then it all goes from there. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of the film we're going to see tonight. So the movie tonight, usually we screen stuff from the 80s and 90s, so it's like peak Hong Kong action cinema. Tonight's movie is from 2000. In 2000, the Hong Kong film industry was dead as disco. Basically, the financial economic crisis of 98 in Asia had wiped it out, an overproduction bubble had wiped out. It gone from making like 350 movies a year to like 40 movies a year. Everyone was out of work. Budgets were in the toilet. No one was going to the movies. And what happened was, a lot of really innovative young directors got their start at this time making genre pictures. Because they're like, oh, if you make a horror movie or a romance or something, we'll give you a job. And a lot of these directors went on that. Fruit Chan, Soi Chung, Wilson Yip, Anne Hui went back kind of to filmmaking. Sylvia Chang started making movies again after a break. And so a lot of these directors just started making amazing movies in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this is one of them. This is a movie from a guy who went on to become one of the greatest action directors. He now makes movies that cost like $80 million to make in China. But at the time, he was an unknown named Dante Lam. Dante Lam was an assistant director for Gordon Chan, and he often handled the action scenes, but he really wanted to direct actors. So this is Dante Lam's very first movie. He would go on to be huge, but this is the first one. He made a movie before this, but it was supervised by his old boss. It was a straight-up action movie. It's not very good. This was the time where Dante Lam was told, you keep the budget low, you get a big actor in this, and you make it on a marketable subject, and you can make whatever you want. And so Dante Lam looked around and was like, okay, I'm going to make a low-budget triad movie, because triad movies were huge at the time. So triads are Hong Kong's gangs. They're like the mafia of Hong Kong. And there's all different triads. And triad movies were huge at the time. They were one of the few bankable kinds of movies you make in Hong Kong. There were all these triad comic books like Teddy Boys and Scoundrels. They really glamorized triads. They got made into movies. Triad movies were everywhere. And usually the movies depicted triads the way the triads depicted themselves. The mafia, they're all about family and stuff like that. Triads are secret societies that believe they have a lineage that goes back thousands of years and that they are righteous brothers. And the boss takes care of his boys, and you stick by your brother in these epic street battles, and he's your blood, and you will do anything to be loyal and committed to him. And all triads worshipped a guy named General Quan, or Lord Quan. Lord Quan was an actual general in like the Warring States period of China a long time ago. And after he died, he was such a virtuous warrior that he became like a deity. And so in police stations and in triad headquarters, you will see shrines to General Kwan. He's red-faced, he has a big beard, he carries a spear, and he's considered an avatar of loyalty and brotherhood and all the virtues that make a good, noble warrior. Well, in reality, triads are like the mafia. They're a bunch of assholes killing each other over money and stabbing each other in the back. So Dante Lamb's like, I don't want to make a triad movie, but I want to make a movie about loyalty and commitment in everything. So he made this movie. He got Tony Leung, big Tony Leung, a huge star, who gives a performance of his career.
Oh, yeah.
He rounded up Sandra Ng, who was really well known for being a comedian. She plays Tony's wife in this, but she was starting to sort of play with drama. It slipped from drama to comedy back and forth. So he makes this movie, and y'all, it's amazing. And this movie was nominated for tons of prizes, best screenplay, best director, all this stuff. Didn't win anything, but tonight it's having its day in court. And I just want to say one last thing before we begin, which is trust Dante Lamb. This is a director who is making a movie as if it's the last movie he's ever going to make. He throws everything to it. Action, romance, comedy, drama. It's all in here. If you see a scene that starts out kind of corny and sentimental, trust me, it's going somewhere you didn't expect. If you see a scene that starts out funny, it's going dark. If you see a scene that starts out dark, it's going funny. This movie is everything. And it asks the question at the heart, who still talks of loyalty in this world? In a marriage, in a friendship, in any relationship, what does it mean to be committed to someone else? Even more than yourself, because that's what triads say they are, and they lie. So this movie, about commitment, we're kicking it off. We're going into 2025. Thank you guys for being here. Sit back, relax, and get ready to take in probably one of my 10 favorite Hong Kong movies of all time, Zhang Hu, The Triad. Oh, wait, before we get started. Zhang Hu, The Triad Zone is the title of the movie. Zhang Hu is the world the triads exist in. It's sort of like the Wild West is to cowboys. The Zhang Hu is to triads, the mythical world they live in of honor and loyalty. So folks, sit back. I fucked it up. Sit back and relax and get ready for Zhang Hu, The Triad Zone.